What's up, guys? This is Vaughn from Simply Hawkward Games, and today I wanted to talk about some comics. That's why I'm wearing my Infinity Gauntlet. It's an oven mitt that I got from a loot crate, and I feel like this definitely justifies wearing it because I'm never ever gonna wear it again. Boom. I don't know. I don't cook all that often, and I don't bake all that often. But I feel like this is justified right now. So today I wanted to talk about comics. I do, as you guys know, I do really enjoy comics. I've got a lot of, DC memorabilia and stuff like that. Apparently some Marvel, yeah. I'm going to keep showing this to you guys, 6 times during this video. I do really enjoy comics, but I wanted to talk about, the sports team theory today. Basically, what that is that you have to choose one side or the other. You have to choose DC, you have to choose Image, you have to choose Marvel, you have to choose Dark Horse, whatever. You never have to do that. I was recently, I was watching the Game Over Greggy show and they had Comic Book Girl 19, so I went to start watching some first stuff because I honestly had never done that before. And it's really good. If you guys haven't checked it out, you really need to if you want to hear some comics stuff. But she talked about how, you don't... Just because people in every other aspect have to choose a side, it doesn't mean we have to. Comic books, can just be a large collective. We can be, essentially a colony with diverse fucking, districts and stuff. We can be all of that, but we just need to be one community because there's not very many people out there that really, enjoy the comic book universe anymore, really enjoy it to the extent that I feel I do and a lot of other people do. And there's just so much, if you only read one, you would miss out on so many great things. If you only read DC, you would miss out on all the good, Civil War and zombie stuff from Marvel and the Fables from Vertigo, Boom, The Traveler, all sorts of great stuff. You would miss out on all of these things just because you were so stubborn and only ever wanted to read DC. DC is great. I love the, gothic dark eras. I love the Bat Family. I love, all sorts of stuff that happens in the DC universe. I love Max Landis' American Alien. I love all of this stuff. But altogether, just reading one is such a bad idea. Because you're never going to be able to experience all these other great comics and all these other great comic events. There's just so much that you would miss out on that I feel like people just need to give up on their petty teams. You just need to give up on it and start reading everything because it's kind of unnecessary. These days you're kind of just hindering yourself from learning anything about comics and their universes. Now is a great time to jump into comics because there's just so much coming out. With these movies, there have been a lot of new revenue coming into comics, and I think they're going to last for a lot longer as long as these movies keep coming out, which I never would have thought in my lifetime I would see some great comic movies. But there's just so much going on in the comics community right now that people would be missing out on if they only ever read one. And if you haven't started to read comic books yet, I would definitely recommend it. I'm a conservationist, so it kind of bothers me that I love comic books so much because they're all paper, and I love physical comic books. I never ever buy digital, which I feel like a fucking ass about because I just, you know what I mean? But just having the physical comic book in your hand is just such a different feeling. It's a nostalgic feeling from when I was a kid, because I read a lot when I was a kid and then I stopped for a while and was I'm gonna have a life, and then started playing video games a lot, and I was not gonna have a life anyway, might as well just read comics as well. So that happened. And there's just so much stuff that goes on in each one of these different universes that you would definitely miss out on. I'm not going to really talk about anything specific today. I kind of felt like just going on a rant. I don't know why. I feel like that's probably the way most of my videos go. It's just a rant, which definitely makes sense. But there's just so much going on in every one of these universes. If you only like the movies, that's fine. If you only like comics, that's fine. You don't want to watch the movies. I would definitely recommend just commingling everything. I'm a DC fan, but I love the MCU. There's so many good things that happen in that cinematic universe, and I'm a big fan of it. I honestly haven't got much into Marvel Comics. I want to, and I'm going to, but, mostly I was just into the movies. This bad boy. Yeah. Yeah, just mostly into the movies. I mean, Thanos just needs to get off his ass and do some shit, because even I have an Infinity Gauntlet by now. What's his deal? I guess he has one. He's just kind of a bitch about it. But there's just like so many great things that are happening within like each cinematic universe, which I feel like right now I need to address. The DC cinematic universe, I definitely feel like it's not a bad universe. Like, it's going to get better, but the reason I feel like it's not very good right now is because comic book stories aren't good. And I'm saying that right now is because in individual comics, if you pick up one comic and you read through the whole thing, maybe it might be good, but I'm 95% sure that at the end it's going to say to be continued, or like what really is good is reading from the start of the event to the end. The start of fucking Hal Jordan's new journey to the end when he discovers where the fuck the Green Lanterns went. Like, all of that stuff, just reading one comic is not ever good because there's no real resolution, there's no real story, there's no real story arcs, there's no real like character development. But in events there is, and the DC Cinematic Universe, you want to know what they are? They're live action comics. Like, if you were to straight up pick a comic out and throw it on a silver screen, that's what it would make. Like, if you guys really think about it, there might not be a whole lot of character development, or there might be a lot of character development in the beginning, and then later in the end there's not much, or just like all sorts of stuff. Like, these movies are lacking good storytelling and good, like, they're lacking a lot of things, and it's because they are comics made into movies. They are straight up picked directly from the series and thrown on the silver screen, which I really love. But it also, like, I understand why movie critics say they're bad and everything, because when you think about it, comic book stories are not good. Individual comics aren't good. They're, like, actually pretty terrible. That's why you gotta keep reading. You can't just pick up one comic, decide it's gross, and then just never read again. Might just been an off issue. You never know. Like, there's so much stuff that happens inside comic book events that you would miss out on if you only ever read the one issue. So you guys definitely need to, like, if you want to get into comics, start committing to these series. Start committing not only to a company, but to the community. Like, commit to some DC comics, some Marvel, some Image, some Vertigo, Boom, like Dark Horse, do it all. Like, I know it's going to cost you a little bit of money, but you'll be better, like, all together. I honestly, I love comic books so much, and I really want to get more into this community. That's why I'm going to start reading more. That's why I'm going to start doing more videos on comics, because altogether I love comics, and it's definitely just a fantastic universe to live in, or it's a great day to live in. Like, this era is so fantastic because I can just go out and buy a whole shit ton of comics. I can just read all the old stuff. I can read all the new stuff. I can read everything. Few and far between. Like, I can read anything that I want, and I can catch up on anything. Like, paperback is not an issue anymore, but you can always go digital. There's just so many ways to do all this. I want to go digital, but if technology ever fails, I want to have my comics. Like, in the weirdest part is that if there was an apocalypse, like, I wouldn't be worrying about my comics, but in my mind right now, I'm just like, oh man, there's an apocalypse, there won't be any technology, and I won't be able to read my comics if I don't have them, like, physically. And then when I really think about it, I'm like, I doubt I'll fucking care. I imagine survival will be more of an issue, but whatever. I've got my physical comics. I can make them into, like, shielding from zombies. Like in World War Z when he wraps shit around his arm. Not at all relevant to where I was going with any of this, but why not talk about it? I'm just ranting anyway. But there's just so many great things that happen in each universe that you guys definitely need to pick up on, is what I'm trying to get at here while ranting and wearing the Infinity Gauntlet. Yeah, I'm going to manipulate your reality into making you read a bunch of fucking comic books. And reading my videos. Reading. Did I just say reading? No, watching. What the fuck is wrong with me today? Like, everything is the other. So if you guys like this video, make sure you like us on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter at Simply Hawkward. I'm going to talk about a lot more stuff. I'm trying to be more active on Twitter. I'm not very good at it, honestly. Like I've said before, I am bad with Twitter. I don't really understand the platform. It's a really cool platform, and I understand why people love it so much, but I don't really understand it altogether. Make sure you guys subscribe for all sorts of upcoming content. I'm going to be doing more comic book reviews, doing some more movie reviews, games, fucking Let's Plays, all sorts of stuff. Fucking toy reviews. Sweet, like, Funko Pops coming out. The Armored Batman from the Dark Knight Returns series coming out in October. I'm so fucking excited. That's my favorite. My favorite, like, fucking animated movie. My favorite comic series. It's just so good. So good. Yeah, like I'm saying, events, great. Individual comics, no. They're not good. Like, The Dark Knight Returns is an event, and it's so good because it goes from beginning to end. It's not just like, you get this piece, you get that piece, you get that piece. And then if I stopped reading there, I would never, ever get anything else. Like, that would just fucking suck. But, yeah, make sure you like this video. Follow me on Twitter. Click the subscribe button for all my upcoming content. I don't know, share this video around. Leave a comment. Let me know how I'm doing. How you guys feel about this Infinity Gauntlet. How you guys feel about anything. I don't really care. Like, if you like this t-shirt. If you can see my nipples through it. Because that's seriously been an issue for me. I can't say that's been an issue for me. But I've always been afraid to wear this t-shirt. Because I've always thought you could see my nipples through it. And I think you can't. Because I love this t-shirt. And I want to keep wearing it. But if you can see my nipples, just make sure you let me know. Because that would not be cool. I realize I've been facing this side of this at you for a long time. Yeah, that's the good side. So make sure you guys stay tuned. This has been Vaughn from Simply Hawkward Games, ranting about absolutely nothing. And I hope you guys have a good day.